Alright, this is game 2 between Starkiller and Zeteo. This is a Champion of the Hill Challenger match. And yeah, Starkiller spawned at the top left as our blue player and Zeteo at the top right as our green player. Both players opting to go straight for mid with their army. Zeteo gets further down the line, so he's able to do more of a concave on this army if he chooses to. And Starkiller, he poked in there a little bit, but backs out as that's more Zeteo's territory. Starkiller setting up a little bit of a line here to contest Zeteo's, but Zeteo's, it's got a really nice arc to it. And he's pushing Starkiller out of mid now, able to pick off a couple of units here. And actually Zeteo hasn't even lost any units here. Gets 5 kills without him, actually he got 7 kills without losing anything. And now Zeteo in a very commanding lead. He's up 60 score. Upgrades look like it's 22224 for Starkiller and 31025 for Zeteo. So he's up. Zeteo likes to opt for that movement speed. Starkiller coming in here, poking at the back line here, but Zeteo does a really good job. Only loses 1 unit during that. Starkiller engaging Zeteo here, as Zeteo would have probably cut off like everything if he didn't take some engagement, and now Starkiller is forced back. Zeteo in a very commanding lead at this point. Upgrades for Starkiller is 32335. Zeteo is at 43036. And Zeteo has a nice unit lead at this point, supply lead. Starkiller pulls a unit off looking for minerals. Zeteo already has a marine going around. Minerals don't spawn until 3 minutes, so I'm not sure why we're doing this, but yeah, Starkiller pushes out here. He's close to max. He's not quite max. Okay, he comes back, waits for complete and utter max. And Zeteo sitting here with a nice line of units. He's making sure not to go too far up here close to that bunker. There's a small engagement here. Zeteo picking off that marine of Starkiller in the back. Zeteo opting to fight here, but decides to pull back. And Starkiller, he's down on supply again, so he's gonna have to wait for remax. He's pushing through here, even though he's low on supply, onto Zeteo's side. A lot of units for Zeteo though, so this is I don't think this is gonna go very well. He brings his SV over. Is he gonna nuke? Zeteo has a very good concave here. He's able to pick off basically all the units of Starkiller. Starkiller decides not to nuke, and Zeteo is banking probably for a mid bunker at this point. Mineral has spawned in the middle. Upgrades at this point look like it's 55436 for Starkiller, and Zeteo has 63137. No other upgrades. Okay, 1,000 minerals for Zeteo. Looks like he's bringing his SV to mid, and yeah, he needs to be really careful here. Oh, okay, he throws on a shield tower first. I was gonna say, if he loses his entire army and then throws on the mid bunker, if the nuke goes off, I should say, Starkiller could very easily push mid if Zeteo's not careful. If he splits off his units so Zeteo can't nuke or can't counter nuke. But yeah, Starkiller decides instead to go for that initial bunker of Zeteo. I'm not sure if he knows about mid bunker yet, but yeah, I think he's just looking for a good nuke. Decides this time's not it. Zeteo doing a really good job splitting off units, but yeah, that means that his units actually fighting are not as weak. Now he's trying to pull those units forward. Now he's finally loading up that initial bunker. The ghost bunker's got to be done. Yeah, there it is. And Zeteo's just okay. Zeteo decides to nuke, killing off those units. The turret's gonna be going down here in a minute. He's actually okay. I was gonna say, you could have picked off that SCV a few times maybe while that turret was going down. But yeah, mid bunker with ghosts, with that marine bunker still alive. Starkiller's in a bit of a pickle here as Zeteo has more than 1,000 score up on him. There's a bunch of minerals here in the back. Zeteo has 1 unit looking for him. Starkiller, he lost his 1 unit that was looking for it earlier, so he doesn't really have any map presence at all. And yeah, Zeteo's just kind of doing a contain on Starkiller as he, Starkiller tries to remax. Zeteo's being patient, making sure not to run in there with all of his units and assault the bunker. That's usually a bad choice. Unless you got turrets and stuff going with it, but then they can counter turret and it gets all messy. But yeah, okay. So here's a counter nuke from Starkiller, but unfortunately he nukes a large portion of his army, so he doesn't really have any initiative after that. He is pushing forward with his forces. Zeteo's just kind of gathering on both fronts, knowing that he's probably a touch weaker. Minerals were gotten by Zeteo, but some new ones have popped up. Starkiller using his SV to scout a little bit for minerals. Finds one. And yeah, there's no more nukes on the board, so Zeteo's in a very good position here. It's just a really nice flank actually being set up here. He decides to push in here. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, you're basically bleeding out ghosts just to kill Marines. I think Starkiller, I didn't really look, but I would think that Starkiller caught up slightly on score with that. Maybe if Zeteo threw some turrets, it'd be fine, but yeah, Starkiller here, I'm not sure if he knows what to do at this point. It's a dire situation. Upgrades, by the way, looked like it's 6 armor, 12 attack, 5 range, 3 regen, and 6 movement speed for Starkiller. Zeteo, meanwhile, has 9 armor, 10 attack, 7 range, 3 regen, and 8 movement speed. Starkiller has his SV out looking for minerals. Zeteo still has that 1 unit. They crossed paths, but Zeteo didn't notice to attack that SCV. Starkiller sends another couple units looking for minerals. But yeah, Zeteo actually has a sensor tower, and he's throwing up some supply, which isn't a terrible idea since Starkiller doesn't have that nuke anymore. Having a supply advantage can definitely help in a lot of situations. But yeah, I mean, I would say the upgrades, they favor Zeteo just because of the extra range. But yeah, the attack, like having 3 attack up, I don't know, it might help against the ghosts, Marine versus ghost, but I'm not sure. Marine versus Marine, the extra 3 attack doesn't really do anything though, because it doesn't kill the unit in extra hits, type of thing. So it's not as useful. It'd be a little bit better to be up on armor compared to their attack. Anyways. Or actually, I said that incorrectly because I was comparing the 2 attacks. I should be comparing the armor to the attack. So 12 attack for Starkiller and Zeteo is 9 armor. So yeah, that is actually still only 3. Or maybe I was comparing it correctly before. I'm not having to remember. Starkiller decides to build a tank close to home here. Throws some turrets to defend it. Zeteo throws a turret of his own. And yeah, those ghosts are just kind of eating up all those Marines. And yeah, with that extra supply, I think this is a very challenging position for Starkiller as Starkiller decides to throw some more turrets to try to save that tank. Yeah, that's a lot of turrets, so I'm not sure if Zeteo is going to be able to break this or not. Starkiller, by the way, has 8 building regen on those turrets. Zeteo only has 2. Yeah, Starkiller, he wasn't able to save that tank. His resupply is just too slow here with that only 1 bunker. Again, Zeteo has 2 bunkers, so he was able to kill that off. And with that tank gone, Starkiller decides to throw in the towel.